the fourth estate, and the others who are not to this press conference. We start by way of introductions. To my right is Gladys Changachirere. She is a member of the World Movement for Democracy Steering Committee. I think you will see in our press release. Apart from being a member of the steering committee of the WMD, she is also a member of the African Democracy Forum working group. That is the African working group. Then to my left is Mr. Chigenda. I think most of you actually know him. He is a member of the World Youth Movement for Democracy, which is an affiliate of the World Movement for Democracy. And he is also a member of the African Democracy Forum. So what we are going to do here is to announce the hosting of the African Democracy Forum Assembly by Zimbabwe from 3 to 5 May 2016. And this General Assembly is going to take place here in Harare at the dates that I have already stated, during the days I have stated. Then just for information, the Assembly is set to come up with recommendations on the way forward for African democratization and socio-economic progress in the wake of pressing issues, such as the violation of principles of constitutionalism, electoral irregularities, corruption, human trafficking, the role of youths, the need for gender parity, and others. So these are the issues that are going to be discussed at the Assembly, and the Assembly, as it were, is going to come up with some recommendations around those issues. So our resolutions at the Assembly are going to be recommendations which are going to be tabled before African governments, which are going to be tabled before bodies such as the African Commission for People's and Human Rights, even the United Nations itself, because some of them will impact on such issues as the sustainable development goals. Then about ADF. ADF is a network of civic organizations and individuals advocating for democracy in Africa. It is an affiliate of the World Movement for Democracy, an international network of individuals and organizations who share the common goal of promoting democracy at the global level. Assembly delegates are going to be drawn from across Africa. And what I know for now, basing on our logistical arrangements, is that 40 countries are going to be represented from outside Zimbabwe. So this is a very big event, and we are going to be updating you on logistics on how the media is going to cover the assembly. And I think obviously we are going to take note of journalists who are here, and probably will actually give them priority as well. You know, we cannot hear everyone, but those who are here, I think surely you have been part of the genesis of the process, and we should make sure that they are accredited to come. And just for information, I am part of the Information and Publicity Committee of the Assembly that we are going to host on 3 to 5 in the NSP Center. So that's the capacity in which I am reading this statement. What I'm now going to do is to give my colleagues, we have senior members here of the ADF, Gladys. As I said, she's a member of the steering committee of the World Movement for Democracy. Then Mr. Chidende here, he is part of the World Youth Movement for Democracy. I think you know he was elected to that body, and he has not been in Zimbabwe for that purpose. So he's also coming for this very important assembly. So, Gladys, you may say some remarks to the members of the press.
So, as you say, and may say, thanks for the opportunity. I just want to buttress what he said, that we are proud as Zimbabwe that we are going to be hosting the African Democracy Forum General Assembly. I think for me as a young and a woman in Zimbabwe, I really feel proud that we are going to be hosting this continental platform, where out of that platform, we also even expect to see a leadership that will emerge from that process to lead the African Democracy Forum going forward. So it is my hope and anticipation that we'll also get young people and women to get represented, in that esteemed body, and who can then take up issues regarding youth and women as they pertain to democracy. Because for me, we cannot talk about democracy without talking about the intersectionality of the concepts and women and youth issues. So it's quite a remarkable process that we're going to go through, and I am praying that it goes on so well.
Okay, thank you, Gladys.
Okay, thank you very much, Comrade Ernest. And like what Gladys has said, I'm also proud as a young person to we have our country hosting the General Assembly for African Democracy Forum, because as you have seen here on the papers, those with the press release, they are critical issues that we need to deal with: the issue of human trafficking, the role of young people, the gender parity, and others. But most of them all is the role of the young people in African countries, especially those countries with liberation movements, because the liberation movements or the leaders, they think that they are entitled to rule these people or to rule the countries for a lifetime, which further marginalizes the young people. So I think this it is an opportunity for us as young people to participate in this thing, because we will be defining also how best can we take leadership from these old men to the young people. So as a young person, I'm very grateful, and I hope that this General Assembly, as we move on, it will work to its mission, vision, and also the values that are set. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I think those are the issues. They are speaking to democratization, and obviously part of the mission of the assembly will be to elect a new leadership for the forum. As you may want to know, the forum is a working group or the management committee that is drawn from across Africa. And as I speak, we have Zimbabweans who are part of that management committee. They include Dr. Reginald Kachalaole, and yeah, he is the only one there. Yes. So we are also probably going to have another person also being elected into the management committee. And as a Zimbabwean ADF members, we are going to press and make sure that we live within our democratic values as ADF, to make sure that our process and the processes are going to be the change that we aspire for. It's an African Democracy Forum, and we are promising that you are going to see democracy at play. So maybe, having said this, we now open for questions and discussions. Questions, comments, That may be there. I guess there are no questions. I think since this is just an announcement. So I think we are available. Oh, okay. Sure.
So just wanted to maybe hear from you what is the real significance of Zimbabwe hosting this assembly as you put it.
Okay, maybe you want to take that one.
So like I said in my presentation, this, I don't want to call it an event. The process is going to be a landmark for the life of ADF in itself, because previously the ADF has not been as functional as expected by its members in as far as championing and articulating issues of democracy and good governance in the continent are concerned. And it's coming to Zimbabwe now at a time where all the members and activists who are part of the network are looking forward to it to become a live space that can articulate those issues. The success of that meeting to me means a lot in terms of Zimbabwe having really influenced the revival of ADF. And secondly, I think also as a country we're going through a lot, talk about issues of human trafficking that are affecting especially young women due to our socio-economic challenges. Talk of issues around elections. We are looking forward to be having an election in 1.5 years' time or 2 years from now. And so having the ADF being hosted by Zimbabwe, I think for me means that as a Zimbabwe, we then begin thinking around how we are embracing the concept of democracy in itself, and perhaps what we need to be thinking through going towards that election in 2018. So I think to me it's quite a critical event that is going to happen, and it has got a lot of meaning and impact to us as a country.
Okay, yeah. Congrats.
Well, I think she is already said it.
Okay. So basically the significance is that one, it will help put some pressing issues in Zimbabwe on the spotlight. The issue of women trafficking. I think as we speak, a lot of women from Zimbabwe are marooned in Kuwait, where they were taken there as sort of slaves. They were taken there on the pretense that they were going to be employed, only for them to be degenerated into sex slaves. Then we have a whole lot of other issues. Obviously, the 2018 elections are beckoning, and the issues that are going to be tabled will help put our issues on the map and help have the discussion on Zimbabwe continue on the world map. Yeah. So we hope you answered, Comrade.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. So that I take it to mean that we have no other questions. Okay. Yeah. So what there is the issue of accreditation. Obviously, we are going to be giving more details in due course. But what I think we have undertaken to do is that members of the media who are here will actually also give them first priority, so that having started with the process, they may continue to cover it. So I think our guys from the media center here have taken note of journalists here present, so that we will start on the accreditation process. So I think for those who are here, that's probably what they will do, that they will be accredited. Yeah. So we have the press release here, we have a few copies, but others